Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual vittles. And today I'm going in on no ancestor money. What can you burn? Ooh, this is a good one, family. This is a good one. No ancestor money. What can you burn? Ooh, this is a good one, family, because a lot of people around the world are reaching out to me saying that ancestor money is scarce where they're at. They can't get ancestor money. They're having problems with their wireless connection. They can't buy off Amazon, whatever. They can't get ancestor money. But I'm here to tell you, family, you don't need ancestor money to get things over to your ancestors. All you need is spiritual ingenuity. Me personally, you can burn regular money. You can write your ancestor's name down in red ink on regular money. You don't want to burn 20s and 50s. If you want to, you can. If you want to, you can, but you can take $1 bill and burn that. Whenever you burn money, depending upon the person's karma, the dollar value is either going to increase or decrease. It's just as simple as that. If you don't have ancestor money, you can also write checks. You can write checks because checks are used in this earthly domain and they mean something. If you go to the grocery store and you write a check for $500, that check's worth $500. So you can essentially go to your ancestor altar and write whatever amount you want on your check. You know what I mean? Because if you feel as if you are wealthy and a millionaire, write $10 million down on that check and burn that check because it means something. It's worth something. Unbeknownst to most humans, when we spiral into this earthly domain, we have a reservoir of wealth that we're not programmed to believe that we have. So whether you have a $10 million tangible cash in your checking account, just know that you're wealthy and write that check anyway, family. Another thing you can do, family, is write a person's name down on yellow parchment paper and write on that yellow parchment paper what you feel as if your ancestors need. If you don't have a printer or anything like that, you can't print out a car, a house, whatever it is your ancestors need, you can essentially print it out and burn it at your altar as well. But if you don't have a printer, you can't get to a Kinko's, or you're not fortunate enough to have a printer at home, get a yellow parchment paper, write it down in dragon's blood ink, or get some red ink. A big pen will do. Write it down in red ink and write on that paper whatever it is you feel as if your ancestors need and burn that. And burn that. You have to learn to be what I would call spiritual ingenuity. You got to have that. You got to make up whatever you feel as if your ancestors need. If you can't readily get something with your hands, do whatever you got to do to get it to them. You know, one thing you can send your ancestors is well wishes. You can send them well wishes. One thing I realize is this: the human mind can't understand the divine. And your ancestors are going to make a way for them to get what they need through you. I remember back in the day when I first started my spiritual practices, I was finding money everywhere. And I ain't talking about big 20s and 30s. The most I ever found was like 20 bucks. But most of the time it was like a penny, nickel, quarters, and I was appreciative of that. And I was finding all that ancestor money because the universe and my ancestors was trying to get wealth to me. At the time, I didn't open up a vessel to be blessed with, and the universe was blessing me the best way that they could. Now that I have PayPal, Cash Apps, books, services, and all that good stuff, the universe blesses me through those things. But if you don't have any services, if you're aware, start looking on the ground when you're out in public. You'll just start finding money everywhere. Finding money everywhere. But when I found that money, what I would do is put it on my altar. To this day, I got a big gold Buddha filled with change. Hundreds of dollars worth of change that I found over the past 10 years, family. It's just as simple as that. And I offer that money to my ancestors. So if you don't have any physical money to burn, you can put change on your altar. You can give it over to your ancestors that way. You can write down on yellow parchment paper with dragon's blood ink or red ink whatever you feel as if your ancestors need. You can burn regular money. You can write a check. I was a check writing fool in the beginning. That's all I was doing was writing checks. Because I didn't know where to get ancestor money at. I wasn't being resourceful. But once I learned where to get ancestor money, Amazon, other places and things like that, I burn ancestor money now. So your ancestors need things. And when you give things to your ancestors, they open up doors of opportunity for you. Because when you burn this ancestor money and when you burn things, money just don't fall out the sky for your ancestors. Doors of opportunity open up for them, family. Doors of opportunity open up for them, family. One thing I do want to implore you guys to do, if you're from a religious family, don't go telling your family what you're doing. If you're not comfortable being outcasted or shunned or labeled as the black sheep of your family, keep your spiritual practices to yourself. You don't have to tell anybody. What's going to happen over time is your light's going to start growing and it's going to expand and it's going to like coddle and comfort everyone that's around you. And they'll ask you, what are you doing to win? I got that all the time. So, Chris, what are you doing to win? I was getting that all the time. I started telling people ancestor practices, learning divine prayers, learning mantras, things like that, helping people. You know, most of my family would be like, okay, and they're still suffering to this day. They're still suffering to this day. But people like my mama, my mother-in-law, my wife, those people, my cousin Brandon, those people are out here winning because they have their ancestor altars up. They're doing divine prayer. They're expanding their consciousness beyond the boundaries of the programming that was given to them, and they're winning. The energy flows where the intention goes, family. If your intent is to help people, the energy of help is going to create a bridge to find you. The universe always corresponds to whatever you give it. So if you're giving from your heart, the universe is going to give you more things to be appreciative of. It's just as simple as that. There's always someone watching you. There's always someone taking account of all the deeds you do. I did a video on, what was it called? Spiritual Defender. And I talk about how everyone has an angel. Go back and watch that video, Spiritual Defender, if you haven't. But I talk about how everyone has an angel that reports every deed that they do every day at your judgment, every day. And depending on how good you do, that lets you know if you're going to wake up or not. Because there's millions of people around the world that are perfectly healthy, but they don't wake up the next day. They just don't wake up the next day, and scientists don't know why. I know why. Because that spiritual defender was like, you know what? They didn't do a good job. They'll come back and get it right the next time. So don't worry about getting praise. Just focus on being you, family. Focus on being you, helping your ancestors, evolving your consciousness, growing spiritually. Because the only thing that matters is if you grow spiritually. That's what we come here for. So eventually we can reach that level of Jalus Pa so we can turn into light. So if you want to add light to your soul, learn divine prayers, memorize these mantras, definitely memorize the miracle prayer, the Anamakoa, and the body of light mantra, and the Isdisafajai Dharani. Those three prayers right there is a track to winning. So on that note, family, peace and love. You know what we out here doing. We out here winning.